For starters, I moved. This is my new apartment.
Love like a mountain that cannot be moved.
Hey my little angels, welcome back to Zhan's Eyeline. Today is a diary entry. I haven't done one of these in a mighty long time. I haven't even made a video in a long time. But today we're gonna clear it all up. And it's not just gonna be an update video, hey I'm back, and then I disappear again. I'm gonna explain it all. I wrote down some notes, some bullet points to keep me on track. This looks like a lot. I may have underestimated how long this video is gonna be, but hopefully it's not too long, and with some nice editing skills, we're gonna get you out here real quick. But if you're new here, I'm a faith-based content creator. If I didn't say it before, I am Zhan VA. And yeah, I do all types of different type of content, from podcasts to vlogs to just regular talking videos. I would like to get more into like short films and other different things, but for right now, we're starting with what we have, okay? And I would love for you to make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell to be notified. I know I've been gone, but trust and believe I have a lot of content for my little angels, for my supporters who have been here from day one, and my new little angels. Okay. Whew. I don't know why I feel so like anxious and nervous. I haven't made a video in a while, like I keep saying and reiterating, but for starters, I moved. This is my new apartment. This is the new place. No, I'm playing. Just kidding. We wish, right? I wish. No, I'm currently on a business trip in Houston. The vlog will be posted when the vlog is posted, y'all, okay? Listen, I'm trying to get better to my, what is it called? Like my turnaround time after I make content. When am I gonna post it? Anyway, it's okay. So, where the heck have you been, Zhan? The question of the day, okay? And I hate these type of videos, these type of update videos, because I literally, like 2 or 3 videos back, this is literally what I was talking about. Where have I been, and da-da-da, all this stuff. But like for real, a lot has happened in the last 4 or 5 months. I already stopped. I really wasn't posting consistently before I left social media for like half the year. So basically, y'all, I took a social media break, a much needed social media break. I was too hyper focused on comparing my content to other people's content, comparing my walk with God with other people's walk with God, and I just lost myself. And that is the danger of being a full-time or aspiring full-time content creator, is that the goal is to make profit off of your videos, essentially. And when you're chasing that ladder, you tend to forget your why. You tend to forget why you're making content, what's your audience, why you're even trying to reach them in the first place, not to just gain profit off of them, but to honestly develop a community. And I just had a lot of mental torment, and I just wasn't happy with my life. I wasn't happy with not having a job, because the last video, I lost my job. And that was my first job of making money doing content. It wasn't my content, but I still was able to have a platform and speak on a platform. Lost that job. Then just the worry of finances, because like my student loans were coming around the corner soon, and a lot of people be dodging their student loans, but I'm too like responsible, and stuff like that gives me anxiety. Like I don't want to be in debt. I don't want to prolong the debt. So I'm gonna try to make a way to get the, to knock down my student loans. Let me look at my notes so I stay on track, okay? First off, if I haven't said it, I have missed y'all so much, and I love y'all so much. I love every last little angel who has checked in on me, who has asked me where the heck have I been, noticed my absence on social media. I appreciate you for seeing me, because I see you and I love you. Kisses and hugs. Because the enemy tried to make me think that my content was so trash that I really thought that no one cared about my content and no one watched my content, despite the numbers, right? Because clearly someone were watching my content, because I was averaging at least like 30, 40 views at least. I don't know, but that's just a guesstimate. But I was just like, no one's watching it, I'm not getting any likes. But it's just like, no, if I can only reach the one and that's who I'm meant to reach, then I'm gonna reach that one person. But I had a little mental breakdown, and I was just like crying out to God because I felt like I was losing myself. I felt like I wasn't supposed to even do content anymore. And I kind of touched base on that in my last video. I was like, is this even for me? Am I supposed to do this? And I feel like the enemy was really trying to attack my identity, and especially of me being a faith-based content creator. Now I'm parts of my walk with Christ is showcased. I showcase it for a reason, to see people that it's not perfect. I have flaws, but I still strive to be as Christ-like as possible. And I'm sure there's other people who do the same thing. And you tend to think that like, there's just no point. There's so many people who want to be a content creator. Like, you're no different than any of them, but it does not matter. There is no other Zhan VA in the world, okay? There's no other girl like me. Okay, there's no other person like you. There's no other guy like you. There's no other woman like you. There's no other creator like you, because you have your own different perspective. And I lost that. I lost that confidence. So I talked to some leaders at my church, because I was like, I was about to go check myself into like a mental hospital, because I'm like, Lord, the thoughts of like deleting, is just becoming so strong. I felt like a bum. I felt like a failure. I'm, graduated and got a job, all this other stuff. It just wasn't good. And they calmed me down. They, were reminding me that these are lies from the enemy. These are not your truth. So I had to really try to redefine my truth, God's truth. So I went into prayer, crying out to God. And because he's the rock eternal, he's going to answer every time. Crying out to him, and he's just like, just delete it all, right? And he's been having that on my mind. And I was just like, no, like, delete everything. Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, delete everything. This is what I'm striving to do, though, Lord. Like, why would I delete the stuff that I felt like you've asked me to do? And it was because it came to a point where I put the content before God, and it's supposed to be God, then family, then content, work, da-da-da. So I was just like, okay, I was praying. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. And I did a fast. It was 3 days, no food, no water, no nothing. Like, no, I didn't answer any calls. I barely talked to my family. I just stayed in my room, and I just went into prayer, and I just listened to God. And he was just like, just stop. Just understand who I am a little bit more. I don't have it all figured out in these last 5 months. September, October, November, December, 4 months, I've been off social media. I've deleted everything. The only form of social media that I'll be on is the YouTube or like Pinterest, but I watch YouTube for like sermons and stuff like that. And I use Pinterest a lot for like other outside inspiration. Just because I took a social media break does not mean I've just stopped working. I've gotten so much done. And in preparation for the new year, in preparation for when I came back to social media. So God had told me that he would release me to come back on social media in January. Now, I wanted it to be the beginning of January, but we'll see when he really released me to do this by the time that y'all see this video. But I have a lot going on in my life right now, and this is the only time to sit and talk to y'all about what's been going on. So that's the original reason why I had to say deuces and not say anything. I put like a little Instagram note and said, see y'all next year. And I may have put that on TikTok too, but like, that was kind of doing too much. Granted, I was in my feelings because I'm like, Lord, this doesn't make any sense. I just felt like I was just throwing everything away. I didn't delete my content. I ain't delete the content. I just deleted like the apps because I also was spending too much time looking for inspiration, but really being a consumer instead of a creator, which really gets on my last nerves. As a creative, I hate when I spend so much time looking at other people's content, watching, like being on YouTube all day, being on TikTok all day, Instagram, and you're constantly having this comparison like, no, you need to be in the field, you need to be creating. So I had to delete it so I could go create. And I've created, listen, I got a lot of stuff coming out for y'all. So to clarify, during this time, it has redefined and it has further refined my why. My why is living in God's truth, spreading his love, and developing a Christ-like community, because there's so many miscommunications or misinformations out there about what it's like to be a Christian, let alone a Christian woman. And I feel like there's so much hatred within the church, and that's not what God calls us to be. He calls us to unify everything, be ministers of reconciliation, you know what I'm saying? So in whatever way that I can do, and I feel like this is the way God has called me to do, is in the way of being a creative visionary, and just like whatever I see, bring it to life that God shows me. So that's what Zhan's Eyeline is about. Literally. Oh my God. It's just so crazy how everything comes full circle. That's what Zhan's Eyeline is, okay? If it piques your interest at all, make sure you subscribe to my channel and join my little army of like little angels and, you know, my friends and loved ones, you know. It's good vibes here, good vibes. Peace, love, and positivity type. What I've done during this break, the first like month and a half, I just, like I said, I fasted. I developed an actual disciplined routine of consecrated time with God that's like outside of church, outside of corporate prayer, stuff like that, just me and God, consistent every morning. I'm working on my night routine as well. That's still a struggle, but every morning I'm working on that. So through that, God has opened so many doors, y'all. Like when you are obedient, God honors that. We always struggle with like, oh, the journey, everything is taking so long, the place I want to be, the place I want to go, the type of career I want. God answers prayers when you're obedient. And this is what I've learned in the last half of 2025, is that when I listen and I obey the first time, or close enough to the first time, because you know sometimes I be hard-headed myself, then he's like, okay, here's this. So throughout this time of me leaving social media and just like God called time of like isolation from certain things, he showed me things that I had to sever, relationships, things that I no longer belong to, I never was supposed to be a part of. He's called me to like sever those ties with certain of those things and relationships. And as soon as I honor that, you know what God does? God provides a job. Not just one, but 2 different job opportunities. I'm not going to release just yet what my line of work is right now. Stay tuned. Because that's a whole nother, it's unleashing a passion that I thought was dead, but he's reviving it, and it may turn into something else. But whenever those things are finished and finalized, I release that. But yes, I have a job, praise God. So the last time y'all saw me, lost a job, but now I have a new job, and I actually love it. I didn't think I was gonna love it. I just said yes to it because I've applied to at least 100 different jobs in the past 4 months, and I either don't get an answer or it's just a whole bunch of decline letters in my email. But it's the same day I sever ties with certain stuff, I get 2 calls from 2 different jobs like, hey, can you come in for an interview? We want to give you this much. We want to give you this much. All this stuff. I'm like, what? Literally instantly start crying because I'm just like, I hear you, Lord. Like, this is you. So I do that. I start working, and then, well, that came later in the 4-month break. But also in the 4-month break, I had so much backed up content, and I feel like that's also what's stressing me out, is because I'm not trying to throw away any content, any vlogs, any talking video, any podcast. So I had stuff built up from when I was doing podcasts, like my first season of Bedtime Talks with Zhan. If you don't know, I am the host of Bedtime Talks with Zhan. The link will be in the description. I've been trying to develop the season 2, which I'll get to that in a second. It's literally so much. So yeah, I edited, like, I have like literally 11, it'll either be 10 or 12 long form content videos. If you are a content creator and you're a vlogger, you know how sometimes you want to have these creative, you know, aspects or whatever to your video and how long that takes. I've edited 10, 12 of those videos, and it's going to be released over time because I'm trying to, like, I didn't want this social media break to go to waste. It was all about getting my mind right, refocusing, and silencing the background noise. Everything else on social media is background noise, okay? Because everyone else is hungry. They trying to get it how they trying to get it, but Zhan VA is trying to get it how God is calling her to get it. So I was like, you know what? Shh. Planned a lot of content, edited a lot of videos, and I'm working on the release, finally the release of season 2 of Bedtime Talks with Zhan. It is not necessarily delayed, but I thought there was going to be a season 2 a lot quicker. because of me working at the studio, whatever the case may be, but it's okay because everything is lining up how it should. Right now, I'm also working on photo shoots and marketing of the rollout of season 2. So within the first half of 2026, expect a lot of content, but also expect like post on Instagram, post on TikTok, maybe. I don't know how much I'm gonna be posting on TikTok. I'm gonna be streaming, or I plan to stream more consistently on TikTok and do like Bible studies or prayers on TikTok. Probably more so Bible studies. I feel like that's something that I was a little like fearful of doing because my TikTok is the most following I had, and it was a lot of secular content I had. That's what I was known for. And now that I've switched my content, I've kind of hit like a plateau. But I'm believing, because this was my prayer too. I said, Lord, if you are asking me to leave social media, allow me to not be anxious about my social media platforms as I'm gone. If this is what you're asking me to do, I know that you're going to cover it all. And I know that there will be increase because of my obedience of removing myself to get back in check so I can be better to the community that I'm trying to build. So I have a lot of stuff planned out, especially with me working. I had to be more organized because before, when I was doing content, this all I did for 8 hours every day was just do content, edit content, and because I had that time. And now that my time is limited, I have to be more strategic with it. And because I built up all these, this another separate content catalog that y'all haven't seen yet, that gives me more time to record and edit everything else that I'm trying to do. So that way, when I come back, like now, to social media, it won't just be one video like I did the last time. It was like a constant race to play catch up, but now I'm caught up, and now y'all will see a whole bunch of videos, vlogs, different experiences. I was asked to speak at a women's domestic violence seminar. I was asked to pray at different events. I was asked to go on different, like this. I was asked to go on different trips and stuff like that. I was asked to be a part of different projects. I'm still working on my own different projects. So there is always a lot of moving pieces in my life. And this is just like one little section. Like I said, I still have a whole job. And then I still have social life, still have obviously the foundation, my relationship with God, and whatever ministry stuff that he's calling me to do, where he's asking me to go. And it can be overwhelming because life doesn't stop for anyone, and there's still like bigger traumatic events happening that like you can't control, but you gotta pray it through. Like I still struggle with feeling like lonely. Listen, I said last year that 2025 was the year of higher heights, and now that I've soared so much, you forget how much you do. That's why it's important to take a stop, take a break, to be like, okay, this is what I did all in 2025. Because if you don't have those little things to check and to check the progress, you think that you're not doing anything. And for me, I thought I was a bum. But whole time, I developed a whole podcast. I did a whole season. I worked at a studio doing content. I have done like little things in ministry stuff. It's just, I've done a lot. And sometimes when you like so focused to where you want to go, you lose sight of what all God has put on your plate now. And that's the whole point of the journey, is to be thankful for what he's giving you now. I'm thankful for the platforms that I have now. I'm thankful for the new vision of Zhan's Eyeline. It's the same vision, but it's refined, because at first I kind of lost it, but now I see and I know. So we're here, we're on the same page. So yeah, I just have a lot that I'm balancing and juggling, but it's all gonna be good. I'm excited to be back. I'm excited for y'all to see all these different videos that I've made. And in the meantime, stay on the lookout for the release of Bedtime Talk Season 2. I've learned so much more about podcasting and so many more things that I want to do differently and add and take away from my content. I've been blessed with, free beats. I've been blessed with different connections. Like there's just so much that's happened in 2025. And the year of 2026, God had told me, he said it's the year of execution. So that means I'm executing all the projects that I desire to do. I'm finishing them. There will be a season 2 of Bedtime Talks with Zhan in 2026. And there will be a rollout of a new podcast idea that I have, where I can have guests. But that involves more finances, more studio time, all the other stuff. But you know how I know it's coming? Because God has provided the provision. He has provided a job for me to afford and pay for all those things. So what do we say, chat? We bless God. I told y'all what to expect in 2026, at least the first half. What else was different? Oh, from when I worked at the studio place, there was 2 other videos of this segment called Going Through. If you haven't watched that, it's basically like a recap of my testimony of how I went from being a secular content creator to a faith-based content creator. I'll link it somewhere or in the description of the first episode of Going Through. It is not on my channel. It is on the studio I used to work for. It's called The Kickback Chicago, and there's like a plethora of different content you can check out on their channel, but I'll link the first episode of Going Through, and like I said, it just summarizes my brief, very, very brief summary of my testimony of me coming back to Christ and really like actually chasing him and desiring more of his glory. And that's another thing. I feel like I'm also trying to be wise of what I share on social media, because I feel like when you pour too much of your heart out into this like content creative world, or even just being a creative in general, when you're so vulnerable with like whatever type of art you're doing, it creates opportunities for you to be self-conscious. At least for me, maybe this is just me, but at least for me, it created opportunities for me to be like, dang, I don't know, like maybe I shared too much thinking that it was gonna get more traction, more attention, and it's just like, it's no one's business to know all that. And I'm learning how to separate, you know, things that I am comfortable with sharing and things that are just like, it does nothing to share. It'll more so be on my TikTok. Like when I would be streaming, I feel like I would glean more on talking about real personal stuff. But like there was a lot of my friends that would like pop up on my TikTok live, but I think that kind of hindered me, because it becomes very draining when you're like, you know, just shedding all this stuff, and it's just like you're not properly refilling yourself, replenishing yourself. Because I was seeking validation through my work. I was seeking validation through, okay, how many people are gonna like my videos, how many people are gonna watch it, constantly you just like going in on like making my content better. Oh, that was another thing that I did, was started, going back all the way to the beginning, what started the mental breakdown is I was trying to develop like a creative portfolio for jobs that I was applying for, and that was the most hardest thing that I've done. And I know like creating a portfolio is something that like is like a senior capstone thing almost. Like it was a whole semester project for some people, and me trying to do that creative portfolio really just showed me, yes, I've done a lot of work. And I'll also link that in the description below, because yes, people need to see that stuff. And it's like my creative portfolio is not where I want it to be. But that was just the best I could do right now. But as I, you know, continue to grow and work on new things, that I know that my content catalog and things that I show on social media is just gonna get better and better, because I have those checkpoints of progress. I feel like I've talked y'all ear off enough, and I thank y'all so much for even tuning in. Listen, okay, tomorrow is not promised. I don't know what's gonna happen in any of our futures, but one day at a time we shall take it. And the plan is to not just jump off the face of the earth again if I have to take a social media break. I feel like the further I get into this career pathway, that I will keep an open line of communication. And the next time, if I feel led or am being called to take a social media break, I will definitely let my little angels know, because I do feel like that was not fair. And I do apologize, because if y'all are my supporters and if y'all are in this community together and I just jump off the face of the earth and I don't say anything and I just leave y'all in the dust, in the dirt, that's not fair. That's not really Christ-like community, because that's not honoring communication. That's not expressing like, hey, I'm down, I'm going through it, I need to get my life together right now. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like communication is key in all aspects of our life. And this is something that I really care about, clearly, because if you know me in real life, you know this is like all I talk about, all I work on. So gotta get it done. But yeah, I just thank y'all so much for tuning in, checking in. And again, thank you to my little angels who checked up on me when I was missing in action. But your girl Zhan is back. I love y'all. Never forget your love, not just because I love you, but most importantly, God loves you. And I'm not giving up on the dream. So whatever dreams that you have, whatever desires that you have, you can't give up on it, okay? Sometimes we may fall, sometimes we may slip up, but you can't give up on it. Don't think that your dreams are too much in the clouds, that it's unattainable. That is a lie straight from hell. With God, literally all things are possible, and we forget that because of the things society tries to tell us all the time. That is not truth. That is not law. What is truth is that God will provide. He gives us the vision, and that's what causes us to be depressed, because when we lose the vision, when we lose sight of things, and I've regained that sight, I've regained that vision. And my prayer is that y'all see your own vision in your own life, that you don't give up on the things that you desire, whether it's podcasting, whether it's YouTube, whether it's finishing that book, whether it's starting that book, talking to myself now, or whether it's just joining that career, going back to school, finishing the Bible in a year, getting that certification. Lock in, bro. I'm tired. You know what I'm tired of? Actually, don't lock in. I'm tired of having the same conversation every year or every so often. Oh, I'm about to lock in. I need to lock in. Like, stop talking about it and just do it. We just got literally Nike. Hold on. Sponsor me. Sponsor me. But no, for real, we gotta stop saying like, oh, I need to lock in, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Sorry, I've been gone. I'm guilty of it too. We just have to just do it, okay? Because we're getting nowhere, and we are breaking cycles. We are breaking generational curses. There's no reason that we have to be captive, because God, Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, has already set us free. Now that is the truth that I had to leave social media to remember, to be reminded of. So I hope that speaks to you. I love y'all. Never forget your love. And again, I'll see y'all next time on Zhan's Eyeline.